practice. As we do each night, we will begin by paying homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So we haven't talked about it yet, but I'm taking a couple of new courses from Buddha Dharma University this quarter. And one of them really has me really engaged. I really like the reading. It's from the Chan Master Huang Po. What an interesting, deep Chan Master with strong Taoist understandings of enlightenment. And I've really been enjoying that one a lot. And I have something from that I'm going to share in a little bit. And then I'm taking a class on Buddhist ethics, which I haven't been overly impressed with so far. We're reading a book by the Dalai Lama, and it is basically, I can tell you this title of it, but it's In Search of a Secular Ethics, basically. And let me see if I can find the title. Beyond Religion, that's what it's called. And it's a book where the Dalai Lama is purportedly proposing a set of universal ethics that applies to everyone, regardless of whether they have a religious background, a religion of their own or not, seeking universal ethics that would apply in the whole world. And I honestly have not been impressed with that book. There's another book we're going to read in a couple of weeks when we finish this one up. And I hope that it will be better and more engaging on what I would call Buddhist ethics. My critique of Beyond Religion is just that those who have no religion and don't believe in religion at all, they don't read the Dalai Lama. So his audience, while he alleges that his audience, or he states that his audience are those who don't have religion as a background for their ethics, they would not be his natural audience anyway. So I find lots of holes in it. And I've actually been very surprised as I scour the internet for critiques of this book, that unless you scroll down, say, through Amazon or Barnes and Noble and look at critiques that just individuals who bought the book have written, it's all flowery critiques. And it's as though no one in publication can criticize this author for rambling. It's written and not spoken, of course, but it rambles on and on at times. It's not well organized in a sense that one is writing a essay on convincing people that this is what we need to do. It's more like a Dharma talk. And as a Buddhist, the Dharma talk is interesting. It's good. I don't disagree with hardly anything he has said as far as this is what I believe as well, would be beneficial to society. But I see all the holes in it that even people with religious background don't believe the principles that he's stating in here. And so his argument to me that there needs to be a secular ethics rings hollow. So I've been very disappointed in that book so far, and therefore in the course that uses this book as a teaching method as to what Buddhist ethics are. Yeah, so, the Buddhist ethics are pretty simple, actually. They're contained in more or less the 5 precepts or the 8 precepts that are practiced by Buddhists around the world. Or if you wanted to get deeper into ordained clergy, ordained monastics, then the many precepts that we take and commit to live our lives by. So, yeah, so the 2 courses I'm taking, I'm struggling with the one on Buddhist ethics. Oddly, because it's not the ethical part of it that I like. It's the book, that I lack. I agree with the Buddhist ethics part of it. I just disagree with the whole premise of the book, that it's supposed to be somehow applicable to other people who are not Buddhist. So anyway, but the teachings of Huang Po to me are just fascinating, and that's what I wanted to share a little bit, just one snippet from one of my readings from this week. Excuse me. This is Zen Buddhism 101. Or maybe it's actually Zen Buddhism 301, because it gets deep into the Taoist thought, but really unfolds about what Zen Buddhism tries to teach, which is that inherent natural mind, original mind, as it's called, non-dualistic thinking. And so I want to there's one question that a monk asks Huang Po, the master Huang Po, and it goes this: upon what doctrine or Dharma principles does your reverence base these words, his teachings? To which Huang Po answers, why seek a doctrine? As soon as you have a doctrine, you fall into dualistic thought. And that, to me, is just profound, and it explains in so many ways, the reasons why I used to have just this big internal struggle of myself with my teachings that I have studied deeply concerning the Pali Canon and Theravada Buddhism and Zen Buddhism. And I used to struggle with saying, this is Buddhism, this is not Buddhism. These are the teachings of the Buddha, these are not the teachings of the Buddha. And I used to really struggle with that. I would struggle with, this is not Buddhism, this is Taoism. This is not what the Buddha taught. It was so dualistic to me. And Huang Po just slices through that. And I'm really enjoying this book by Huang Po. And he's from the 800s in ancient China. Late 800s, early 900s, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, so he's an early Zen Chan master who is well known for his one thought, which is his one teaching, which is original mind. And I just find it fascinating. I find it essential to understanding that oneness that we all have with the cosmos, with each other, with everything being one. And it's fascinating. And his book is simple to read, but deep, and you got to really think about it. I mean, it's not difficult language. I wish I had a translation of this by David Hinton, because I like the words that David Hinton uses. He uses these Taoist terms of absence and presence and Wu Wei, and these concepts of absence, action, Wu Wei, or Zhu Jian, these concepts that David Hinton he really integrates by explaining what the Chinese characters mean. And so, yeah, I may have to write Mr. Hinton a letter and say, can you translate this Huang Bo book? Because to me, David Hinton is a master of translation, so that one is able to read and understand what part is Buddhist, what part is Taoist, and how they come together and create this better understanding of what those of us who are practitioners of Zen are trying to clear our minds to, or open our minds to. So, anyway, so those are the two courses I'm taking this semester: Buddhist Ethics and the writings of the Chan Master Huang Po. And I find that Huang Po is just, boom, I like it a lot. So, yeah, that's what I'm studying. And as this progresses a little bit more, and as I find more things I want to read and share with you, I'll certainly do that in the future. But for now, let's do a little bit of meditation practice, and we'll call it an evening. So, yeah, I think we'll do 25 minutes of meditation tonight. And as we do each night, we will end with the reading of the Bodhichitta Prayer. So, again, I invite you to pay attention to the bells, and we will let the bells guide us in our meditation practice. I was just going to open up our guided bell to follow. So, here we go. Thank you all for meditating with me. As we do each night, we will end with the reading of the Bodhichitta Prayer. Although, the more I read Huangpo, I might switch to something different. We'll see how this semester goes. So anyway, let's read the Bodhichitta Prayer together. The Bodhichitta Prayer. Excuse me. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. Again, thank you guys for joining me tonight, and I hope you'll join me again tomorrow night as we continue our nightly meditation practice. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.